The reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness, LLC. We should go live with this one. I swear we God, we should. We're back. Everyone, welcome to week 8 of the Borderland Sports Report. This is our walkthrough. Let's get into it. And if you're wondering why my co-host over here is wearing his Niners Nation, this is what happens when you mess with us and bet on them Cowboys.
I know we got a bag that I can put. I don't need nobody seeing this with this. That just don't work. I'm sick already, man.
Bro, you're gonna go viral this week.
I'm
Everybody's gonna be screen capturing this, everything. Yeah. I feel sorry for you, man.
I know, man.
But let's get right into it. Let's go to El Dorado versus Americas.
Tough game. Unfortunately for El Dorado, Americas is going to win that game going away.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Ray gonna need some help.
Yeah, and the off season it's going to be a different kind of off season over there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I will agree with you on that one. Next game for Thursday night: Canyon Teal versus Andrews.
Love Andrews, good young group of kids. They're developing, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're going to compete in that game, but it's definitely going to be Canateo. They're over on the west side on the Smurf turf.
Yes.
So they're going to win that game.
I agree with you there as well. Then we get into Friday, and I mean, like most, it's crazy these 6A games, man. There's a game of the week, at least 2 of them every week right now, man.
Yeah.
And we get started with Franklin versus Eastlake.
I like Eastlake in that one. I just think Franklin, they got too many injuries this year, and they could still pull the win out, but I think it's an Eastlake thing.
Let me ask the question. Franklin was off last week.
Yeah.
Did these 2 weeks help them mend?
I don't know how they help mend a broken leg or collarbone.
Time, okay.
Yeah.
In that case, Eastlake.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, Eastlake. Then we got Eastwood versus Socorro. You're going to go with Eastwood on that one.
Yes, y'all know. Come on now. Y'all know.
No knock on Socorro.
I mean, we said it, week 1, somebody's going to go 0-10, somebody's going to go 1-9, and somebody's going to go 2-8. And it's kind of holding form right now in that district.
Yes, it is. And then the second game, in which I mean, truthfully, is probably the game of the week, and that's Montwood versus Pebble Hills.
Yep, and I mean, I've seen Montwood a lot this year, and Claudio has been decent. He just hadn't had that breakout game yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Pebble Hills is going to let that happen. They didn't let Del Valle do it. They didn't let that happen at Canateo, and so I think I'm going Pebble on this one. I just can't see. Again, you got Amari Welch matched up on Diego Oaxaca, which is going to be a good matchup. On the other side of the ledger, you got the freshman over there at Pebble Hills, who's going to be matched up probably on Cameron Harrelson, and that's a good matchup because they're both about 6 foot, 6'1", so you're going to see a real matchup over there. But then running backs, I'm sorry, Quarles is a dude.
Yeah, he's that dude. He is that dude. And I like Claudio a lot. But Quarles is that dude, man. I think this is where Montwood gets their first loss.
I think so too.
In the district play.
Yeah, no, in district play, and you look at Southern versus Gael, and that's a Gael. I think Gael's definitely got the edge on that one. No knock against Southern. I know how folks are, but Gael's going to be a bigger leader for his team tonight.
Now, I will say this: if Oaxaca can get going,
Amari Welch has to fall off off, I mean, a cliff for that to go down, because he can run with Diego, and that's usually where he's able to get his work done, because he's usually faster than most of the guys that he's playing against. And in this week, that's not going to be the case. Amari Wells can run with him all day long.
Okay, it's going to be interesting. I mean, there's some individual matchups there that are very intriguing, and I'm going to be really want to see what happens there.
Absolutely.
But those are the matchups for the top 10. Now, a couple of admin things to put out, right? So, mark your calendars. The end of season banquet is coming in December. It's going to be on a Thursday night. I can't remember. I will put the date out, the actual final date on the wrap up show for this week. But that's going to be on a Thursday night. That I think is the first full week in December will be that event, and then. We put out some power rankings this week for basketball. Started getting stuff ready for basketball, and that's kind of where, man, there was a lot of player movement in this city.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Lot of
UIL has rules, and then there are ways for
I mean, there was a lot of movement. Families was moving districts.
Yeah, families are moving their houses and all of that. And I just think that at some point, we know what the intent of the rule was, but at the end of the day, the kids, the coaches, the parents, folks move. They know how to move. They know what they need to do. And the intent was to keep super teams from happening. But, in football, it looks like we're going to see North Shore versus Duncanville for the fourth time, I mean, so that hadn't stopped any of that.
No.
Basketball, look at the teams that have been in the, at the state tournament, in the semifinals. It's been a consistent group of, top 6 teams in the state in various classifications. It's the same dude, kind of dude.
It almost makes you wonder if UIL needs to look at, when they look at this next reclassification of, I mean, you might have to look at just creating almost kind of like this whole separate bracket for. Because at the end of the day, it's all about giving teams a fair chance to win a state title, compete for a state title. But parents are gonna go where they want to go.
Right, parents are gonna take their kids where they want to take their kids, and football, baseball, basketball, even soccer. I mean, it's the same teams: Frisco, Wakeland, Bel Air. San Eli. I mean, those teams stay in the quarters, semis, every year. And so the kids who are in those sports, they just keep coming and keep coming, because that's the program that wins. That's the one that's always, competing for it. And, so it's.
The crazy thing is this, right? They want to try to accuse coaches of recruiting. The reality is these coaches ain't got to recruit no more.
No, they don't.
Parents can read, parents can see. They want their kids to be associated with winning programs and to have an opportunity to play at the next level. And so they're going to put their kids in a situation to do that. And you can't fault them for it.
Right. You got kids who will go to some of the power schools, basketball, football, get on the roster just to be on the – they may not play a whole lot, but they know because they're at that school, colleges are coming through all the time. They're like, well, this guy's over here playing for this team. He must be all right, even though he's not, getting a lot of playing time, but they'll make that leap, and colleges do. And so, unfortunately, it's tough. There's a little bonus game. We forgot to talk about it. Does UTEP get it done against Florida International on the road?
No.
Which then leads them to a 1-7 record going into
Who did they beat? They beat somebody? And I'm being serious about that. They actually beat somebody.
Yeah, they did, and it was a good Lord. We got it.
Was it Bowl Subdivision?
Yeah, it was an FCS team. It was not a. I got to go back and look at. I got to go back and look at that one. But
I'm gonna say something on here.
I heard some rumors today that if it goes bad this weekend, the writing's kind of on the wall, and regardless of what happens in the Battle of I-10, which is next Wednesday during the Wednesday walkthrough, it may be. You never want people to lose jobs because that's families, it's kids, it's schools, it's all of that. But it may get a little tough over on Glory Road.
I've said this a number of times, and I'm going to go on record saying it here today. UTEP might want to look at going Division II.
I don't know about Division II. The problem with, and I've heard people say, hey, drop down to FCS or something like that. But the problem is they got a 54,000 seat stadium. They got a bowl game that's been going for 80 years.
And that bowl game can continue.
Right. And so it's kind of hard. People look at that. You got other programs who are dominant at the FBS level. Your soccer teams are really good. Softball, track stays in the NCAAs with winners, and so it's kind of tough like that. Maybe some schools are just.
If Chaminade can host the Maui Classic,
yeah.
Why can't? What's the difference?
Yeah, they host it every year. That's
every
true.
year, and they flock to it.
Yeah, and people go to Hawaii, man.
I'm saying though.
No, I get that. And what a great segue. I know we got a couple minutes, but speaking of that, Chaminade Golden's in his third year over at UTEP. That'll be an interesting conversation. The team he recruited very well this year, and we're going to see what the fruit. A lot of portal transfers on that basketball team, and so
I want to say almost the whole team is built off of transfers. Maybe minus a couple of players. And
then New Mexico State. Hey, that's going to be a show we're going to talk about down the road. We're going to do that show right there. Because both teams, New Mexico State, for obvious reasons, flipped their whole program. And while UTEP didn't have those issues, they still flipped the roster. So that might be a good show we can do here in a couple of weeks. That one right there, looking at both those teams.
And sometimes you have to offer something to these players that they can't get somewhere else.
Right.
You know what? Kentucky's a historic program, right?
Right.
For basketball.
Right.
There ain't nothing in Kentucky. There's nothing around that school, man.
Right. It's a small.
There's nothing around there.
Right. Small. I did read today, El Paso Times, and something else online I was looking at about, the NIL group, Haskins, Steve Haskins, I'm going to say the name is right, I was reading about, guys are going to go going, we got to fix NIL at UTEP. And,
there's so much money in this city.
And the words that he uses, competitive edge. And unfortunately, it's what everybody feared. It is an arms race now.
Man, NIL is a whole nother beast, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to be a result of NIL. You're going to have players who, especially on the football side, who could leave early, are going to stay there full time because they're going to make more money playing college football than they will on that rookie contract.
Yeah, and that rookie contract. So in that way, college football will love that.
Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to go pro.
I think
he's got another year of eligibility, right?
He does.
I think he's going.
Shedeur Sanders, yeah. His daddy already said he gonna stay. He gotta stay, and so it's interesting when we look at stuff like that. They said, Deion, Arizona State came up and said, "Man, we made a mistake." A guy came out and said it. AD, man, we just didn't think, we couldn't see what he was going to do, and now he's seen it, and they're like, he's got college football, people back interested in the game of college football. They want to see that team play. They want to see, the glitz, the glamour. It's fun to go to a game.
Yeah. And, and we've had this conversation off air before, but, it leads, in my opinion, it leads credence to someone like an Ed Reed getting another opportunity.
Oh, sure. I mean, folks like that are going to get another job.
Is that UTEP?
Now that's an interesting one. I mean,
How much do they want to change that program here at UTEP?
right. Well, I mean, there's speaking of 49ers, I mean, Bryant Young, Andrus alum, as well as UTEP alum, NFLer. Again, there are guys like that out there that could come here and kind of shake things around and shake things up. But people have to be willing to take a deep breath like Colorado did. And they doing it all the way to the bank right now, right?
Man, let me tell you.
They were talking about how much money that those folks are making now.
Let me tell you, I would be very interested to see what the drop-off in numbers has been since Deion left Jackson State.
That's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I know that he got the field and all that done, and they were still, now I know the corporate sponsorships, he got that going, and that was really kind of the big thing is they just didn't have enough real strong corporate sponsors to take care of it. Now you've seen all these the big ones have been playing against an HBCU, Power 5 programs playing or FBS programs playing against HBCUs, giving them that payday that Deion said. Now it's going to take about 5 years of that, and then you'll really start to see. I mean, you'll walk into a locker room there and go, all right, you'll see some press boxes that look very different.
Let me tell you something, man. So, my son goes to Howard.
Right.
They got the Jordan Brand sponsorship last year.
Right.
So, going into last year, they had just redone the basketball arena.
Right.
What do you think they're redoing right now? The basketball arena.
Yeah.
Redoing it again.
Right.
It wasn't good enough. They're redoing it again. And I say all that to say this.
It's an arms race, man. You gotta.
If UTEP is serious about changing the culture there at that program and really, really about that winning, they're going to have to make a drastic change. They're going to have to bring in someone that's going to make kids want to come to El Paso to play.
Right. I think putting up a bubble on that practice field over there, they should have already done that. New Mexico State's bubble is moving right along.
Yeah.
And so, you don't want to be the only team out here in the Southwest that don't have a bubble. I mean, everybody's going to be like, why do I want to come to your school when they've got, so that's the next one. They're going to have to do weight rooms okay, facilities over there are okay, but that's one of those, the practice facilities, that thing right there, that's where you can fix some things like that. Put up your bubble over there, so when the recruits come in, when you have functions out there, you have camps, you don't have to go to the stadium anymore. Now you're in your bubble, and kids appreciate that because when they go to camps at the big schools, that's what they see and that's what they work out in. And so I'm sure the Jordan Fosters of the Fosters of the world, Paul Foster, Jordan Foster, the Foster family of the world, if they wanted to put up to $35 million to put up a decent bubble, they could do that.
And there's money here in this city.
Oh, sure, there is,
and it's just all a matter of how much access do they want to allow. But I digress on that. But hey, again, this is the Borderlands Sports Report. All this is talking about what's going on here in the Borderlands. So, I mean, we went through the high school stuff, but this has been burning on me, man. It's been burning on me because, I'm here. I'm a part of the city. And you want to see the city have a winner. I mean, you can't keep telling kids, you can't every year say this is the year. No, man, you're gonna have to bring in somebody that's gonna bring some dogs with them. Gonna bring that Louis with them. Gonna bring that Louis with them.
And get the real good players to stay in the city.
Yes.
I mean, here we go again.
There's talent leaving here.
Yep, they're leaving. They're out there balling out in other places, and to sit up and tell the fan base, well, I'm going to get this kid from California, and the fan base don't care. They're the ones buying tickets. They're the ones buying T-shirts, and so. The goal should always be, I'm going to get the top 3 players in this city to stay here.
And it can't be to make them a walk-on.
Yeah, you got
it. Can't be to make them a walk-on. I'm going to say it again. It can't be to make them a walk-on. Stop using that. Recruit these kids if you want to recruit them. I'm tired of it. Recruit them. Stop trying to offer them walk-ons and getting over on these kids.
Sure. I mean, it should be certainly the hometown team should always be the hometown players' first thoughts when they're thinking about where they want to go to college. And I'm sure in Boulder, Colorado, everybody's already going, I'm thinking about Colorado first before going anywhere else. If growing up down in Austin, Texas, every one of us wanted to put on the burnt orange and white and go play UT Austin. Or Texas A&M, but
hey, growing up in Martinsville, Virginia, we wanted to go to UVA or Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how it is. I mean, that's the hometown team always gets the first nod, and believe it or not, I don't care who the players are, they think about it. But when they don't recruit them, they just don't. It's almost like they look at them and go, well, they're not as good as the kid in Dallas, Houston, California, JUCO, whatever.
But the reality is you're not getting the best kid out of Dallas. You'll get the 4th best kid at that position.
It's true.
Which is no better than our best kid here.
Right. Our kid's probably better. Matter of fact, we know they're better, LJ Martin. I mean, we know they are. Yeah. No doubt.
You can't wait till that kid's senior year and try to build a relationship and recruit them then. Right. Come on, man. You got to start offering these kids. Right. You want to know what's broke with the system? You're not offering kids that are the good kids here to come there. Right. You bring them to games, you bring them around, but you're not offering them.
Right.
And you're letting other people come in and they're just scooping them up. The state of Utah is recruiting El Paso like it's a feeding ground right now.
They sure are.
And all you got to do is look at the numbers if you don't believe me.
Yeah, they're shopping again. UTRGV just came in, just walked in and took a 6-7 tackle out of here, and people are going shopping here, and I hate to use the word knock or whatever because I don't know if that's the right term, but if you're not going to go shopping, somebody else is going to come shopping.
Somebody else is going to go shopping, and they've been doing it.
And they've been doing it, and so
they let Bo Sparks leave up out of here.
Yep.
They let the Harrison kid from El Dorado leave about 6'5" wide receivers leave up out of here. Come on, guys.
Chris Harris went to North Dakota State, got a ring. And so L.J. Martin's doing great. Jeremiah Cooper is doing great. And the arguments, well, we'd never get that player. Well, you never know. I mean, people said Travis Hunter never would go to Jackson State. You remember that? They said he's a 5-star. He ain't going to go to no Jackson State.
He went to go play for prime
time at Jackson State.
Because he knew that prime time could get him where he wanted to be.
And so that's what it's about, building a relationship and trusting the people to give you a great college experience. And so good luck to the Miners this week, and we'll see what happens. And, you always wish the home team the best. You want them to do well. We just know in the future, as basketball starts, I know Golden's excited about making a run for the tournament, and so
I'm excited. I'm excited what Golden has done there. I'll be interested to see how he's able to bring it all together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Keith Adams. Let's not leave out the women. Keith Adams back for another stint at UTEP. She's got a brand. She's got a style of basketball that worked here. Going to bring it back again, and it'll be good to see 2 programs that are really good doing their thing, and it'll be nice to see them selling out the Don, if you will, on a regular basis between the men's and women's teams. I think it's going to be a good show.
And I think they'll have a lot of luck doing it by scheduling some games where the men and women play double hitters. But
right, and we saw a little bit, and that's good when that happens because you get these massive crowds out there, and so I'm excited about it, man. Well, What a great show.
I apologize, y'all, for unloading on my thoughts on UTEP, but that, man, it's been bothering me. But yeah, you're definitely right, man. Definitely appreciate you guys watching. Great show. We'll see you guys on Saturday for
The wrap up.
You guys have a good one.
Get this.